Hello, world. Good morning. This is Barbie Lee, and this is Shake Talk. Oh, do you hear it? I did a lot of singing and stuff yesterday, talking and stuff. Anyhow, so today and this week, I think we're going to talk about. So there's a lot of stuff that shows up in my world. I talk to a lot of people, right? So there's a lot of stuff that shows up. People always go, "Where do you get your topics?" Seriously, it's what conversations I have around me. Now, I never say anybody's name, and I never point any fingers or anything. But I get material, like a good comedian. I get good Shake Talk material from people around me. So the question today is, what do you do when you can't do anymore? Right? So of course, as always, I'm drinking my, gotta get another shake. I'm drinking my chocolate mint isoline shake, right? And we call it the best breakfast ever because, like, truly it is, right? Okay, so what do you do when you can't do anymore? Do you throw your hands up and go, "I'm done, I'm out," blah, and make a big scene? Is that something you do? Because some people do that. How about if you just go and you just acquiesce, right? You just back up and you just say, "Forget it, I'm done," without actually saying it. So what do you do, right? So there's this whole thing about, I love this expression once. It said, "Are you a human being or a human doing?" And I went, "Oh, that one really resonates with me," right? So am I a human being or am I a human doing? Well, I'm a human being, which means I should be more than I do, right? So it really got me thinking about, who am I when I do things? Okay, you get that? So I'm a human being, but what do I do? So I'm at a point in an area in my life where I just go, I just need to let it go. But I have some attachments. Oh, do I have some attachments? So I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, and other times I'm like, and other times I'm like, so it's this whole range of emotions. Oh, I spit all over my screen. So it's this whole range of emotions for me, right? So the end of the day, so so the end of the day, I have to really, well, actually 15 times a day, I have to really think about who I am in this moment. Who do I want to be in this moment? Am I going to be the bitch Barbie Lee and go, "Nah, nah, nah, nah"? Am I going to acquiesce and be the silent Barbie Lee and just, you figure it out? Or am I going to be who I am? Now, that's a tough one, right? Because a lot of people say, "I don't know who I am." Well, that's a whole other topic, and that's a whole other um, bit of work for you to do in yourself, right? I'm pretty confident and pretty set, and I pretty much understand, like, what makes me feel good, what doesn't make me feel good, who I am as a person. So this what do you do when you can't do anymore? Well, I used to just fly off the rails. I used to just freak out on anybody who would listen, and whether it was their responsibility or not, right? And that really didn't serve anybody, least of all me. So today I have some practices in place. So one of my favorite practices, now I do it every day, all day long. And people say, "How can you practice, like, patience or understanding or kindness all day long? Don't you just want to throttle people?" But yes, but then I go back to something that's so personal and so intimate to me. It's my breath, right? It's about taking a breath and just literally breathing, not going, when people say take a breath, how many people go, it's funny because the breath comes from the diaphragm, right? So when you're breathing in, your diaphragm should be going out. Now, most people don't. So just put your hands on your belly for a second and don't try and force the breath. Just breathe, right? And go, "It's not moving." Or really, "Oh my God, it's not moving." Because most people only breathe to here, not to, "I'm way down here in my diaphragm." See, way down here in my diaphragm. So most people breathe up here. And that's not a good enough breath. That's what we call shallow breathing. That's what causes anxiety and stress and high blood pressure. So really understanding how to breathe into the diaphragm. Now, this is a natural thing. When we sleep, we do it naturally, but sometimes during the day, we get caught up here And we think we don't have time to breathe, so we just breathe like into here. So I have a song on Spotify, and you can find it many different places, but this is a lady. Her name is Karen Drucker. That is the soundtrack, or her soundtrack, her CD. That's the song Breathe. So this is one of my favorite songs. So if I'm really in a kind of moment, I turn on this song, right? Because she tells me what to do. So I'm going to play a little bit of it so you can get the idea. And the sound won't be all that great, but you got to play it for yourself on Spotify. Okay? So I'm just going to hold it for a second. I breathe out. I take in. I give out. And just breathe in and out. I let love. Breathe in love. I let go. Let it go. I release. Just release. And I know. Isn't that great? And then she's going to go in and just tell you to breathe. So here's the middle of the song. Breathe. So all you're just going to do is breathe. And you will notice very quickly. You will notice very quickly that everything just starts to melt. So there's nothing to do, right? You're just going to be yourself. Just be human. We in this human body need to breathe. And when we forget, that's when we get all anxious and we get all uptight and we get all headachy and cold and fluey. And it's as simple as the breath. It's really as simple as the breath. So what do you do when you can't do anymore? Breathe. Try that. Tomorrow and the next day we'll talk about, or Wednesday and Friday we'll talk about a couple more strategies, but seriously, breathing is so important. And people go, but seriously, focus on your breath today. Just focus. Set a little timer on your clock and maybe it bings every hour or something like that. And notice where you're breathing. Notice if you're short of breath. Notice if you're out of breath, right? There's no reason you should be out of breath unless you're working out, unless you're doing some, extra cardio activity. But if like walking up the stairs makes you out of breath, you need to do a little more cardio activity. So notice your breath today. And notice that you are a human being, not a human doing. So what do you do when you can't do anymore? Be in your natural state and just breathe. Take a breath. It's good to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let it full exhale. And full exhale, right? Full exhale. So like, so your tummy's like all the way in and even a little bit more, because you don't want to hold anything stale, right? So let it all out. This is all about your quality of life, folks, right? You know I'm all about quality of life. You know I'm all about feeding the body really well, right? I use Isagenix. I use network marketing as my side gig, as my full-time gig now. But it's about living from a better body, a better bank account, and in a better environment, and surrounding yourself with practices and techniques and stuff that's going to keep you exactly who you want to be, which is happy and juicy and delicious. I'm assuming that's what you want to be because, we came to this human existence to have a wonderful experience. So take a breath. Enjoy life. Focus on your quality of life. And if you're like, I got no clue, then reach out to me, right? Let's have a conversation. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, your quality of life will improve when you start focusing on yourself better, focusing on your food, focusing on your finances, and focusing on your fun. So as always, make good choices. Make good choices today, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday.